What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back, and from 2Fab, Elliot Page reveals estrangement from father, parents' issue with his queer identity. And this Elliot Page news blitz over the past week or so is just completely through the roof. This pretty young man has half a dozen stories that are all completely unbelievable, but we're just supposed to sit there and take it because of their apparent delusion, right? That's all you need to say for everybody to believe you without questioning any of it, is that I'm a transformer. It doesn't make any sense. And it's also very strange that this carbon-based life form was made hugely famous portraying a pregnant young woman or teenager or girl all the way back in the movie Juno, and is now cutting his boobs off, her boobs, whatever, ab implants, only to take vanity photos for Instagram. Something's not right here. And of course, the media is going to smear this carbon-based life form's parents, even though they're probably just looking out for their offspring. But we know that the media and the political regime establishment want nothing more than to completely drive a wedge between parents and children, no matter how old they are. But that, of course, is a different point, and I digress. They say, Page says his, and they're going to go out of their way at every possible opportunity to use he, him pronouns. Page says his own father liked a transphobic video aimed at Elliot on Twitter. Elliot Page is opening up about his journey with identity and how his own family members have struggled with acceptance. Yeah, imagine this person's family saying, "Oh, we've known you since you were born and you're not a little boy." And they're just automatically supposed to wear that, right? You have to immediately bend the knee. You have to bend over backwards to appease their delusions. And in this particular case, I think Elliot here is actually really quite evil. This isn't about a young person who's been manipulated through media and TikTok. This is about a Hollywood sycophant who is under the rule of somebody else, forcefully pushing this on people, right? We all remember when Ellen cried on Stephen Colbert and completely endorsed the Juicy Smollett lie. And now, of course, has several of her own, his own, whatever, Zer's own Smollett-type stories, right? Or is that all just a coincidence? Anyways, ahead of the release of his memoir, Page Boy, this week, details and excerpts from the book were released by the Los Angeles Times alongside a profile with the actor. In the book, he writes about struggling with his queer identity throughout his childhood and teen years, as well as how his parents handled him coming out as trans in 2020. Yeah, they're really laying it on quite thick with this absolute nonsense. And who is this for? Who's actually buying this? A handful of weirdos in Hollywood? Everybody knows the truth. We all know, but that's the power play, right? That you know what's real, but we will scare you into submission. That way you won't say it. Ask the airheads on the whatever podcast. Before coming out as a trans man, Elliot came out as gay in 2014. So Elliot, as Ellen, as a woman, was attracted to women, and now Elliot is a man and is still attracted to women. It's all very confusing. And said in his book that his own mother, the daughter of a minister herself, once told him that homosexuality doesn't exist. He also reportedly heard his grandmother ask his father what he'd do if Elliot was I don't know, can we say that on YouTube? A homosexual. I don't even know if you can say that. Who knows anymore? These people change the rules every 6 minutes and force you to jump through the hoops. After shaving his head for a role as a teen. Okay, and then you have the big story here, the other story. Elliot Page reveals he had a relationship with Kate Mara right after coming out. There's a handful of these things, obviously, to sell this book, and I hope it doesn't sell any copies, but I'm sure somebody's going to buy this nonsense. Page told the Times that his mother eventually accepted him. Oh, it just never gets old, bro. These people are absolute hacks. I think it's really inspiring that she's changed and become such an advocate and ally, he said, noting she expresses guilt to her son for her past beliefs. So they beat his mother, they, them, zim, zer's mother, into submission to the point where she bought it, apparently. Even though if anybody on the face of this earth understands what Elliot may or may not be going through, it's the mother, right? Nobody knows you better than your mother, as I understand it, in my experience. It took her time to break out of the ideas she grew up with. Oh yeah, completely ditch reality. It took a grown woman, the mother of a 36-year-old, it took her a little bit of time to throw out the beliefs and reality that she's known her entire life. Yeah. I mean, we had to work a little bit, but she finally capitulated to the delusion, and we're proud of that now. This is absolutely ridiculous. And Elliot, he's forgiven her. So you're telling me that the onus is on the delusional offspring to forgive the person that gave birth to them and knows better than anybody else on the face of the planet that it's actually a woman. I mean, this is just through the roof, and they won't stop. And that's what, I mean, they're getting so desperate, right? And like I say, you guys, you gave it the old college try. You had a good game, we had a good match, but people aren't buying it. There's a handful of folks in the media that want to keep pushing it, but I promise you, when the comments on videos and on Instagram and on Twitter don't get turned off, which they do a lot of the times, you will see hundreds, if not thousands of comments of people who do not agree with this. You will see parents at the school boards. You will see parents outside of the schools. You will see all of that because people don't want it. Everybody knows the truth, and you have media outlet establishment hacks like this just bludgeoning people over the head using the he, him pronouns 24 times in 2 paragraphs. It's all absolutely insane. He hasn't, however, had the same success with his father, who says he hasn't had communications with in 5.5 years and likely won't again. Yeah. Well, dude, you're just completely trying to create your own reality and force people to capitulate. It's beyond. When right-wing author Jordan Peterson was let back on Twitter after he made a horrific tweet about me, he posted a video, just his head filling the frame, staring menacingly into the camera. He said, "We'll see who cancels who. My dad liked it," Page claimed. Okay, so what? Your dad, who knows you were born a female, and you're basically trying to ruin his work. I mean, right? Like, your parents raised you, and then you want to flip the script on them when you turn 35 years old. It doesn't make any sense. And then you're mad at him, and you haven't talked to him for 5.5 years because he hasn't completely bought into your delusion like your mother has, after you had the graciousness in your heart to forgive her for not immediately hopping on the train of the reality that she's known for quite possibly 60 or so years. I mean, give me a break. And here's a link to another one of these crazy media blitz articles. Elliot Page says A-list actor told him, "I'm going to F you and make you realize you aren't gay." I mean, Elliot Page is a special kind of evil. This is almost on Dwayne Wade level evil. Dwayne Wade, at the behest of his new Hollywood wife, has sacrificed his son to these ideologues. And Elliot Page, clearly a childless, handsome little boy, is trying to breed those children without doing it herself, himself, they, them, z, zim, zer's self, right? So while Dwayne Wade figuratively lifted up his child and sacrificed it to these weirdos, Elliot, this carbon-based life form, is trying to do it to your kids because he will not be able to do it himself. No matter which way you slice it, it ain't gonna happen. In 2022, Peterson was kicked off Twitter for a tweet in which he longed for the days when pride was a sin, misgendered Elliot, and called the doctor who performed top surgery on Paige as a criminal physician. Yeah, all facts. Shout out Jordan Peterson. He followed that up with a lengthy video posted to Instagram and YouTube in which he doubled down on his initial comments. Right? And they're always so surprised when somebody doesn't immediately backpedal, like that Weasley little baseball player who said, "I'm so sorry, one of my family members is gay, I apologize," and then he still got cut, right? Because they smell blood in the water. You never apologize because it won't be enough. Once you apologize, they're going to ask you to apologize for the apology. So what you do is tell them to kick rocks. That's what you should be doing. He followed that up with a lengthy video. Okay, in his book, Paige said the strain between him and his father comes down to his dad supporting those with massive platforms who have attacked and ridiculed me on a global scale. And then the creme de la creme, it finishes, Page Boy is out tomorrow. So it's quite obvious this is all about selling a book. And this is really a special kind of evil for this person to come out after being made absolutely a megastar by portraying a pregnant female. Fast forward 15 or so years, cut his boobs off, get ab implants, and immediately start taking vanity pictures for the gram to push onto kids, and then wearing protect trans kids shirts and crying on TV. I mean, this is all absolutely through the roof, but I guess this is the last of it because it's over. We're not buying it. It's not going to happen. I think, I hope, I pray that the pendulum is finally starting to swing back to a little bit of sanity. So, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.